Hey folks, can any of you guess which side of the world we got our eye on right now? Well, if you said anything other than the Caribbean Cocos Plates and western side of the Americas, you haven't been watching very hard. This volcano in Ecuador is really starting to rock and roll, and we got to watch out for this one in Colombia and Bolivia as well, along with quakes. Taking a look at the sun here, we have two ejections to watch. Off the left side, the eastern limb, we see a cloud of plasma lift off the sun, and right about that same time, we see a coronal mass ejection coming out of the right side of the sun. Now, taking a closer look at the eastern limb, you can see this dark cloud of plasma lift off the surface of the sun right here, creating a bit of an ejection. And right after this occurs, over on the western limb of the sun, from the solar active region, we see there's a coronal mass ejection. Now, these things are pretty much happening right at the exact same time. Now, we come over here to the Soho LASCO, and there are frames missing, which make it harder to ascertain exactly where these things are going. But this one frame right here really shows the scope, the breadth of the ejectorate. It's going everywhere, and there's a reasonable chance to think that this second one might be coming at Earth. Now, this is above the equatorial line of the sun and barely on the Earth-facing disk, but watch how the coronal mass ejection comes out of the solar active region. You're going to see clearly that it comes off a bit more Earth-directed than one would think from an active region like this, and we really do need to keep an eye on this in the next coming days. Some of you got some good news when the stock market shot up yesterday on news that the Fed, well, not just the Fed, but other nations around the world are going to provide a safety net. Folks, this isn't as good news as you might think. When they print money, which is what we're going to have to do to save them, or when you just infuse dollars into somewhere, everybody's money becomes less valuable, they can't buy as much, further stagnation, no growth, not to mention they still haven't really kicked their debt problem in the first place. Many of you have seen on the mainstream news, they're actually talking about the possibility that they're putting in a brand new underground bunker in Washington, D.C. Now, these utility upgrades is what they're allegedly calling them, but they've been going on for years, and especially if, for those of you who believe that their underground bunkers were destroyed earlier this year, this wouldn't be all that out of the ordinary in terms of standard operating procedure for staying safe with the president. Speaking of underground tunnels and bunkers and things like that, they're thinking that China has hundreds, thousands of miles of these underground tunnels, and they're saying that within these tunnels could be hiding up to 3,000 nuclear warheads. Folks, we've really been watching the Pakistan and Iran situation deteriorate. I guess you could throw Israel in there as well. Keep an eye on all of this, folks. Be safe.